Hello everybody, Looking for Life here, bringing as a brand new deck profile. I am so happy we finally have this deck out here in the TCG. Technically it's not even supposed to be out yet. The full set doesn't come out till, what, Saturday or Friday. But hey, sneak peeks are awesome. And hey, look at this. I have been attending sneak peeks for the past like 5-something years and I finally won the mat. I am happy about that. Oh, good. Okay, so anyways, in all seriousness, Crusadia. Not a big fan of the name change, but oh my god, I'm so happy we finally have this deck and I can finally play it. I've been playing the hell out of it online. It's one of my favorite decks. It fits right up my alley with all sorts of just awesome, you know, OTK potential and enough dilly-dallying. Let's go into the deck profile. I'll just gush over it later. So first and foremost, we got triple Crusadia Maximus. Aside from the very Transformer sounding name, Maximus is honestly one of the best ones that you want to get to your hand ASAP because he is one of your main win conditions in a way. So like with all other Crusadia, you can spell summon him to a point a link monster points to, and then as with most Crusadia, he has some sort of effect on the field. And basically his is you can target one of your Crusadias whenever they do battle damage. Well, it has to be Crusadia Link Monster. Whenever it does battle damage, it does double the battle damage. Yeah, that's your win condition right there, you know? Really, really powerful, just being able to bestow that onto one of your Link Monsters. It's very, very good. Even though he looks like a warrior, he's a psychic, which is a bit annoying because you can't search him with Rhoda, but I digress. So, generally speaking, he is one of the ones you really want your dudes to be pointing to, and he's also the strongest main deck Crusadia monster in terms of attack power, so you really do want your Crusadia monsters to be pointing to him so you can go for that OTK. Next up we got Crusadia Draco. Poor M-Duck, he went from having a cool name to just being Dragon, Crusadia Dragon. So whenever he is special summon, which of course you can do by just plopping him on the field to a zone and link monster points to, well, you get to add a Crusadia from your graveyard, except himself, back to your hand. Really good, just being able to get some recursion and all that, so you don't have to worry about just burning through someone's resources to get going. Very, very helpful. Next up we got the second strongest in the deck, Leonis. Again, a standard special summoning effect where you can plop him on the field to a zone a link monster points to, and then he can give your link monster piercing. While not the greatest of effects in general, it does help out, and also he's got the second highest attack of the Crusadia monsters, so that helps out tremendously, especially when in tandem with Maximus, so you can get double battle damage and piercing and have 2,800 more, 2,800 more attack for your Crusadia Link Monster. Very, very scary. And then we got the waifu of the deck, good old Arborea. Arborea, while lacking in attack and lacking of an on-field, well, a real on-field effect, she has the ability to basically be Return of the Dragon Lords, or whatever it's called, for your Crusadia monsters. Whenever a Crusadia would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish her from your field or graveyard to negate that destruction. Really, really, really helpful card. Very, very good for the deck in general. Really just helps out with a lot of situations so you can protect your dudes. Again, just really good overall. Not a big fan of how she really doesn't provide any really substantial attack bonuses to your dudes, but that's just me. Now then, onto the non-Crusade, well, not just yet. Onto our final monster I play 3 of. The World Legacy World Crown. So Crown has some interesting effects, but only 2 really matter. The first of which is that you can summon it to a zone a link monster points to, that you can, well, that's on your zone. Like with the Crusadias, it has that exact same effect. And so therefore you grant 2,000 attack bonus to your dudes, which is really, really good. And then also has the other really good effect to where whenever a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck activates its effect, you can tribute this card to destroy it, to negate and destroy that card. Really obnoxious for your opponent, so you get basically double negation having this thing out along with equal max. I keep on and say equal facts whenever somebody, like, after reading his name change. But anyways, still overall really good. It has some other effects that aren't really relevant because you got to normal summon it out, but I digress. Now then, for the stuff we play to, first and foremost, Crusadia, oh god, what was this? Reclusia. Getting used to these new names, I swear. So Reclusia is honestly the worst of the Crusadia. It's got the lowest attack amounts, therefore the lowest bonus OTK potential, and all it does on summon, well, and notice how it says on summon, you can pop a Crusadia card you control and a card your opponent controls. It's just kind of okay. He's by far the worst Crusadia. I know some people argue Leonis is because piercing nowadays isn't as relevant, especially with Lynx being in attack position all the time. But honestly, doing a 1-for-1 pop and losing your advantage is honestly even worse, in my opinion. Yes, the destruction is nice to destroy some stuff your opponent controls, and if you have Arborea in the graveyard, you can prevent the destruction of your dude so you stay alive, but it's just not, it's not worth it. I don't like Reclusia too much, and so I've been playing him as a 2-of. I was playing him as a 3-of, but it was literally just because he was another name, and honestly, he's not even good enough to be playing as a 3-of, but 2-of I feel like is a good middle ground. Because again, he is another name and you want to get as many names as possible in your hand, so yeah. Then we got 2 World Legacy World Lance. I've kind of been debating between 2 and 3 of this card because it's just so good for the deck, but at the same time it can be a bit cloggy with the other one, so anyway, so Lance, basically the big thing about this thing, it has what, like 4 or 5 effects, but only one of them matters, and that's that when a Link monster battles another monster, doesn't matter if it's your Link monster or not, you can discard it from your hand, your opponent's monster loses 3,000 attack power. This in combination with having a superpowered Echo Max and having double battle damage can mean instant game. Thanks to this card and the double battle damage effect and all the attack boosting for your dudes, I have been able to get up towards of 12,000 damage with a single attack, because this thing most of the time will drop your opponent's monster to 0. In addition, it does not target, and it does not, it's not card destruction. So therefore, it can affect Boros load and it can affect other things. It's an incredibly powerful effect for this deck, and I really almost feel like this should have been the Crusadia World Legacy monster instead of this being for Nightmares, because Nightmares don't play this. Doesn't do anything for Nightmares. Anyways, now then, next up, I do play 2 Gamma CL and 1 Kumongous. This is for 2 different reasons. First of all, yeah, for really 2 different reasons. So first and foremost, getting rid of problem cards that my opponent has. This is a go second deck all the time. If Crusadia go first, you're kind of stuck at a rut because you can't do much and you don't want to invest too much onto the board because your opponent can just easily break your board unless you happen to open up the quick play spell and or Arborea. That being said, this deck, due to it wanting to be going second all the time, your opponent's more than likely going to build a big nasty board, especially if you're going against Nightmare Goki or something, because more than likely they are going to extra link you and lock you out of being able to play. So the Kaijus are kind of necessary. They really are in this deck, and I kind of want to squeeze in more. It sucks too, because I do. But however, I feel like these 3 are good for now. I might try out playing another ratio of them and maybe even trying some of the higher attack ones. Because the other really cool thing about this is if you like summon these to Regulix's zone, you can get the search off of Regulix because it's anytime a monster is summoned to a zone he points to. But not only that, if you summon it to a zone where one of your Crusadias can point to it on your opponent's side of the field, they get the attack buff from that monster because it's any monster they point to. So you can get another 22 to 2,400 bonus attack points for your Crusadia Link monster. Very, very, very helpful with the OTK, and is just a really great overall. Again, I kind of want to try playing some of the stronger ones, but I'm not entirely sure on what ratios I should be playing of these, so I'm kind of just rolling with these 3 for now. If any of you guys have any ideas, recommendations, or concerns regarding anything of this deck profile, please leave your comments down below, especially in regards to Kaijus. I really like them, but I'm not sure what ratio I should be playing of them. So, moving on, but those 3 have been working really well for me so far. Moving on, we got 3 Crusadia Power. I'm so used to it being called Albaid in the Japanese version, but I digress. So Crusadia Power is a quick play spell. You target 1 Crusadia monster you control. It's unaffected by card effects until the end of the turn. It's up for its own. So yeah, it's kind of just basically a one version of freaking Infestation Pandemic, you know? You just target one of your dudes, it's unaffected by stuff until the end of the turn, except its own stuff. It's really good and helps out a lot with protecting your dudes, and is just really good for not only just that, but also link climbing as well, because your opponent will oftentimes try to stop you from even getting into Equimax beforehand, or Regulix even, because Regulix can also OTK very helpfully. So yeah, this card just helps out a lot, and I really think it should be a 3 of. And because it's a quick play, you can do it during your opponent's turn as well. Next up, I got 2 Crusadia Revival. I've seen some people play 3, some people playing 2. Personally, I'm leaning more on the 2 side, because aside from granting 500 bonus attack to all your dudes, and aside from being able to make it to where one of your link monsters can attack all monsters your opponent controls, this card doesn't do much for the deck other than letting you OTK a bit easier. And so it's not like super relevant, necessary to get to your OTK, it just helps tremendously with doing it. So I feel like it's a 2 of, not a 3 of, because any more than 2 I found that it gets really cloggy at. Likewise, I'm only playing 1 terraforming in here to get to it, because either you open the terraforming, you open this, or you can search it with Regulix. You know, it's super searchable in this deck, it's not the hardest thing to get to. So I really do feel like you only really need 2 of it in the deck. Next up, we got 2 World Legacy Secession. This card is pretty great for this archetype. You target a monster in your graveyard, spell summon it to a zone and link monster you control points to. You know, it just helps with the OTK, gets more damage in, and helps out so much. 2 Twin Twister, because back row is annoying for this deck and you don't really care about discarding some of your stuff. Ideally, if you open up any 3, or well, 2 to 3 Crusadias, you can win the duel right then and there, depending on how many of your opponent's monsters they have. So yeah, you don't really care about some of the other cards in your hand. So Twin Twister really helps out dealing with your opponent's back row. And then I got 1 World Legacy Survivor. I've seen some people playing 2 to 3 of this card. I feel like that's way too much. 1 is good enough, because none of the Crusadia spell and traps are World Legacy cards. So that means you gotta play a good amount of other World Legacy cards to be able to really maximize the profit off this card. So that's why I'm playing 3 of the Crown and 2 of the Lance, as well as also 2 Secession, because basically what this card does is you excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 World Legacy card from your, or Crawler card too, which is pretty cool because this helps out crawlers. Add 1 World Legacy or Crawler card excavated to your hand, send the others to the graveyard. If there was none, you shuffle them all back into your deck. Pretty good card overall. It does get you a +1. Well, not really so much of a +1, but however, because it can load up your graveyard too, you can get your Arborias in the graveyard, you can get your other dudes in the graveyard pretty easily, and you can get your Monster Reborn for the deck, or your 2 World Legacy monsters from your deck to your hand pretty easily thanks to this card. It's just, I feel like with the gamble and everything, you only really should be playing 1 of it. It's just, you can really nag yourself pretty hard. I mean, like, oh, it does nothing. You know, you literally just did nothing, and it doesn't even send everything to graveyard if you don't add a World Legacy card. It just shuffles everything back in deck. So it's, again, I feel like it's just a 1 of. 1 Rhoda Arborea is a level 3 warrior, so yay. Just helps you get to your dudes a bit faster, or I guess in this one, your girl. Monster Reborn kind of goes without saying. Terraforming. Book of Moons, you know, to help with the partly for the piercing, which is funny, but also more importantly for the disruption and trying to get rid of opponents' annoying things. This is honestly more for if you are going first. Then onto the traps, which we do play a few of. First and foremost, 2 Crusadia Vanguard. This card is pretty darn good. So what it does is when you activate this card, you can also tribute 1 Crusadia or World Legacy monster. And if you did, spell summon 1 Crusadia or World Legacy monster with a different original name from your deck or graveyard. While you control a Crusadia Link monster, your opponent's monsters can only attack Link monsters for attacks. You can only activate 1 Crusadia Vanguard per turn. This card is really good for the fact that it lets you switch out your not so good like low attack Crusadias that you might have had to put onto your Crusadia Link monsters for something bigger. So let's say for instance you had to put Reclusia under one of your dudes. That was the only one you had, so you get 400 bonus attack. Whoop-de-doo! So you activate this during your opponent's turn, switching out Reclusia for a World Legacy World Crown, because it's any World Legacy card or one of your Crusadias. That's pretty mean. And it also protects your main deck monsters from being attacked because your opponent has to attack your link monsters, so that's also pretty useful. Now for the final card to help counter the annoying back row that your opponent might have, 2 Red Reboot. Kind of goes about saying, oh, your opponent, you're playing against altar guys? No. Oh, you're playing against something else? No. you don't. This deck loses so hard to back row, it's not even funny. Of course, it also does lose pretty hard to hand trap, so I'm thinking about switching out to Twin Twister for 2 Called by the Grave in the main deck instead of the side deck, but I'm still debating on that. I would like to hear what you guys think about that. Should Called by the Grave be in the main deck or side deck for this deck? But Red Reboot helps out mitigating the issue with the trap cards because, well, you just negate the trap card and you don't care about your own life points because you're probably going to win that turn. Finally, okay, that's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. First and foremost, I got 2 Magius, 2 Regulix, and 2 Echomax. So, and they aren't even on the screen, whoops. So 2 of each of the link monsters. So now why am I doing this? Because ideally you should only need 1 of each to win, but however, just in case, 2. So Magius, whenever a monster is summoned to a zone that he points to, you get to search out a Crusadia monster from your deck to your hand. Regulix, whenever a monster is summoned to a zone he points to, you get to search out a Crusadia spell or trap card. And then Equalmax just gonna let you tribute a monster he points to negate a card your opponent controls, effects until the end of the turn. It's a quick effect too, which is pretty great. Now then, all the Crusadia link monsters also get attack based off of whatever monsters they're pointing to. So if you have a Maximus, a Leonis, and a Kaiju pointing to Equalmax, you get a crap ton of attack points. Additionally, monsters it points to cannot attack. This is why your Crusadia special summon themselves in defense position and why your trap card prevents your opponent from attacking your little dudes, because ideally you are powering up your link monsters to be able to go for the damage. Really good cards overall. The new Crusadia monster in Soul Fusion I don't think is too great. Maybe it's a one of, but honestly the originals are the best ones because they mitigate the cost of extra, well, not extra linking, but link climbing, because Magius gets you a Surge, Regulix gets you a Surge, and Equalmax is just a beast. So yeah, and then aside from that, the extra deck is pretty darn open. So I'm playing Nightmare Engine, 1 Mermaid, not because I'm actually wanting to summon it, but because if my opponent drops an Ibly on me, I can just get rid of it like that. 1 Goblin, just in case, 1 Cerberus for popping, 1 Phoenix for popping, 1 Unicorn for popping. Like, this is the funny thing about the extra deck for this deck. You never use anything but your Crusadias, except just on the off chance. It's literally not even, it doesn't come up. 1 Topologic Trisbana, 1 Beauregard, 1 Black Rose Dragon, and for the lulz, 1 Trishula, the Ice Barrier, the Dragon of the Ice Barrier. This is just funny because freaking Arborea is a tuner for some reason, more than likely because Crystalline Needle Fiber is a thing, and Konami knows it. But however, because we got level 3s and 4s, we can go for a level 7, we can go for a level 6. But I thought it would just be funny to throw in this just in case I do happen to get 3 to level 3s out. Again, it doesn't happen because you win with your Crusadia monsters. So literally everything besides the Crusadia monsters, I feel, is up to you. Heck, if you really do want to play 3 of each Crusadia monster, be my guest, because the extra deck is that open. But however, I feel like playing some utility cards and stuff is better than just playing more of the same that you probably don't need. So guys, that is my Crusadia deck profile. What do you guys think of Crusadia? Do you think they're going to do anything in this format? I would love to see them do something, you know, be like relevant, but they haven't done anything in Japan, and I don't know if they're going to do anything over here, considering our format is probably worse than theirs right now. But I digress. What do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. And see y'all later. Peace out and goodbye.